Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about the Arken EP5, and I want you to ignore this beautiful wood chassis that the Tika T1X is in because we're doing a separate video on that, but this is the Wux Furiosa. But we are here today to look at the Arken EP5, and we're going to talk about this because I want to see if this truly is the best budget PRS scope. There's a lot of people out there using these. A lot of people have done a lot of reviews. Joe over there at Cyclops Videos, he did a really good tracking test. He does a bunch of scope reviews. I'm not going to redo what everybody else has done. What I'm going to do is take you along for the ride on the scope cam. We are going to just shoot maybe a group or two so you can just kind of see how the gun's shooting. So we know what happens down here, but then we're going to shoot at some steel. We are going to dial this thing. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on this for the price point from a perspective of a PRS shooter, because I think that's what a lot of people are looking at, an entry-level PRS style scope, shoot NRL, PRS rimfire, or maybe even centerfire. But there are definite pros and cons. Let's shoot a couple groups. We'll fire up the scope cam, and we'll get into what those are. And at the end of the video, hopefully you'll be able to make up your own mind on whether this is going to be the right optic for you or not. Okay, Smokey, so first things first, let's just shoot a couple groups. Again, this hasn't been shooting that great for me, so we're just going to kind of show you what we got going on here. So one high, one low. That one went back high. Back kind of high. Wind is left to right, so somewhat of a group. Of course, the wind starts picking up as soon as we go to shoot groups. And there we go. So that's a pretty good group. That's kind of what I've seen out of this rifle is shoot a really good group, shoot some really crappy groups, shoot a really good group. And I've tried this with long range match out of SK, I've tried 10X, Ely match, all the Lapua. I've tried everything. It basically all shoots about the same. It'll shoot a good group and then it goes kind of crazy. We are going to adjust a little bit for that windage. We're going to go 1/10 left here. And first thing we're talking about is the turrets, and what I'm going to do is just kind of give you guys an up close. They are very crisp, I'll give them that, very audible, and are very repeatable, so I'll give them that. We do have the zero stop set. Not a big fan of the zero stop. Oh, the zero stop works, but it's a little mushy for me. Not a big fan. I would prefer a disc style, but it does work, so I'm not going to complain. Again, 500 bucks. You really got to kind of keep the complaints pretty low. So what we're going to do is we're going to dial. Let's reload this mag, and we're just going to shoot some steel. And it'll take me a little longer than normal because I need to adjust the parallax so that you guys can actually see what we're looking at. But we're going to walk this out from 50 out to about 100 yards, and then we're going to shoot some targets past that. Hopefully it'll give you guys an idea of the glass clarity. Obviously it's better in real life, but you guys have seen enough scope cam video on this channel that you can kind of make your own determination. All right, should be good on here to shoot the 50 yards. So it's a little piano key at 50 yards. And yep, hit. Now we're going to go to about 70-ish yards. Hopefully that's decent for you guys. A little left to right, I'm going to hold just off left. Oh, and it hit just off left. All right. There we go. Hit. Got just a hair further. Off right. Hit. All right, let's go out to 100 and play. All right, so the one thing about this is the glass quality is okay. It's not too bad. But the eye box is super tight. So if you're kind of shooting this positionally, and we may do that here in a minute, it's pretty tight. You got to really find that eye box. Let's try our luck here. A little bit of wind. Ooh, barely nicked him. All right. Let's see if we can get that little 1/4 inch. Oh yeah. So obviously very usable. It's been very repeatable for me. Let's try something a little bit further. We're gonna go out to about 120-ish yards. See if we can get on this guy. It's a little grenade out there. Got him. And we're gonna go a little further to 130 yards. And we're out of ammo. So for $500, I mean, you're gonna see some chromatic aberration on this. The glass is not gonna be perfect. Again, through the scope cam, it's not as good as what you're gonna see through your eyeball, but it is a usable scope. You know, you start trying to do some really crazy things and push 22 out really far. I'm not sure that you're gonna be able to spot all your hits and misses like you would on a more expensive scope, but this for sure is gonna let you at least go out and play out there. All right, let's go after this guy. 130-yard grenade. All right, got him. And let's go 150. Way high. There we go. All right, so starting at the 50. Barely nicked him. Then we're gonna go up to 70. We're gonna hold over. Hit. 80-ish. Hit. 90-ish. Hit. Hit 100 now. Just below him. So the holdovers, the reticle, so it's clean and I like that about it, but it's hard to distinguish on low power like this where I'm holding. Like, it's very thin. There's just 1/2 mil subtensions. There's not a lot of information to go off of, and they're accidentally held over 1.5 mil on the first one instead of just under, like I should be at 1/8. So that's why I missed it low. I thought it was a 2 mil line because it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm gonna peel this in a little bit. We're gonna go after that 120 something yard target. That should be right around 3 mils. I'm trying to figure that out. That's a hit. We'll go after the further one. That should be 4 mils. Hit. And hit the spinner. There we go. So definitely usable. Again, probably not my favorite reticle, but let's get back on the bench. All right, so we have shot the Arken a little bit today on camera, and it's time to get down into the nitty-gritty of things. So this is what I'm going to tell you about the pros of this optic. It is cheap. You get a lot of options. You're getting good turrets that are going to be usable for PRS. You're getting elevation travel that's going to be usable in PRS. You're getting okay glass for the price point. It's not the best in class. I think if you looked at maybe some of the Athlon scopes with less features, maybe they won't have turrets like this or all the features, but you're probably going to get a little bit better glass for the money. Expect chromatic aberration. The big thing is QC. So I know a bunch of people with these. Obviously I have a sample size of 1, but for 500 bucks and all these features and to get all this stuff with it, you can't expect the QC to be top notch. There's a give and take on everything, and you're just not getting something for nothing. So I would say that this probably is the best budget PRS scope that you can buy right now to have all these features and have everything you need to shoot PRS. Now, there are other reviewers out there. I've seen their videos, and I'll tell you right now, this isn't to create drama, but if someone is telling you that this scope is equivalent to a Cronus or a Tractoric or a Midas Tac, you know, $1,000 scopes and up, they're lying to you. That is not true. The glass is not as good. It's just not going to be as good. It's $500. Pros are, again, turrets, really nice. I like the parallax. Parallax is nice and smooth. Mag ring, nice and smooth. All the things you would normally get in a good scope. You know, fast focus eyepiece, moves very smooth, very stiff, which is a good thing. You don't want this being bumped around. It doesn't have an indicator, but you could easily just put a mark on there. None of mine do. It's never been a problem. Set it once, forget it. This will be okay. Again, everything pretty good. I think I forgot to touch on the eye box. The eye box on this, especially at high magnification, you know, it's tight. I mean, you're either in it or you're not. You know, I've got like a small window here bouncing around, not in it. And but if you can consistently get on the gun the same time every time, it's probably not going to be an issue for you. But one instance that I could say this is probably going to be a real big issue or a real big deal breaker if you're shooting NRL and you're trying to be very serious about it, you're going to shoot some support side stuff. And finding this with this shallow eye box on support side, I'm still trying to get it right now. Holy crap. I haven't got it yet. Close. There it is. Maybe. Yep, kind of. Yeah. So, you know, a tight eye box is very unforgiving for that. Now, when you're on your normal side, not an issue. It's going to be easy to find that sight picture. But when you go to support side or you're in a very awkward position, that eye box is going to punish you. But again, $500. All in all, good scope for the money if you need all the features. And I think this feature set really lends itself to PRS NRL style shooting, whether it be rimfire or centerfire. But have realistic expectations for what you're paying for. It's $500. It's not going to be a $1,700 scope. It's not going to be a $1,500 scope. It's not going to be a $1,000 scope. You are not getting that level of quality for $500. So what you are getting is all the features you would need to go out and shoot PRS and NRL and be successful. Now, of course, you know, you're going to be at a slight disadvantage for those guys that are running optics that are up towards 2000. They're going to have better glass clarity, which means those guys are going to see more impacts and misses at distances, and they're going to get better wind reads off of their shots. But, you know, you're just not getting a $1,500 scope for $500. But overall, I would say, yeah, if you need a PRS style scope and you got $500 to spend and you're not looking to spend more than that, you're trying to get into it on an entry-level setup, maybe something like this, Tikka T1X, CZ457, put this scope on it, stay in production or base class, then yeah, I think just have realistic expectations and you will be fine. Hopefully this video helped you in your buying decisions. Let me know if you were running one of the EP5s or the Arken scopes down in the description, and if not, maybe you had a good or a bad experience with them. I'd like to know. This one's going to stay on the channel for a little bit. I'm going to shoot a little bit more and see how it holds up long term, but so far for the money, not a bad deal. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one.